If you are not familiar with Engage by Cell, we are a 100% US-based organization. We offer cloud-based solutions. We've been around for about 21 years now. We engage with many, many, many people. This last stat from 2015, we had 2.4 million app pages viewed. We are a very large text message provider. If you notice there, almost 8 million text messages exchanged and so forth. And probably one of the things that I'm most proud of at this organization is we provide human customer support. We're not bots, we're real people. We do not have an 800 phone number. You call us, we answer, you email us, we reply, we're humans. Even, as far as asking for information on our website, 9 out of 10 times, our CEO is going to be the person who's responding to those questions. So again, very big in human customer support and service. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how things have changed over the years. And if you're anywhere around my generation, you've seen all these changes, right? So back in the dark ages, people wanted to talk to people. They picked up the phone, they dialed it, and people had conversations. Nowadays, phone calls are ignored, right? Let it go to voicemail. If it's important, they'll call back or something like that. Plus, there's so much coming at us nowadays. Sometimes it's difficult to answer phone calls all the time. We then switched and pivoted to email. And I remember when email, in one of my early jobs, I was still asking people, do you have an email address yet? And it was an amazing thing. You could send it to them right away. You didn't have to go to the post office and mail information. They could send you an email. We've kind of beaten that horse till it's dead, and people don't necessarily respond to emails like they have in the past. Between promotions and spam and social media and all that kind of stuff, we're all guilty of it. I task each of you to look at your email inbox to see how many unread messages you have. I have quite a few. Now, work-wise, of course, I check those, but personal, no, hardly ever. One of the great things about the COVID era is people got a little bit more technologically savvy. QR codes were introduced many years prior to COVID. They kind of fell out of favor for a little while, but during the COVID era, everyone knew or learned how to use QR codes. I don't care if you're 5, 15, 50, or 80. Everybody was scanning QR codes to access menus and so forth. So they became very commonplace. In the past, resources were accessed either in person or on your computer. You went to the place to gather information and ask your questions, or you were able to find some resources from your, big, mighty desktop computer. But now smartphones are the primary way that people communicate and research on the go. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I'm out and about and I want to see information about a specific place or hours at some, a venue or something. And we kind of do just on the go research through the smartphones. And then finally, texting used to just be for family and your friends group and so forth. But nowadays, people expect timely responses. I'll call it the I want it now era. The Veruca Salt, if you understand that Willy Wonka reference, I want an Oompa Loompa now, Daddy. But when we now live in a world where there's same day delivery, we order things from DoorDash, or I call up Uber Eats, and people expect that timely response. This is where we've evolved to. So yeah, a little bit of history as to how mobile tech has evolved. We offer several platforms. We offer mobile web apps for content storage, engagement, and so forth. We also offer text messaging platforms to push out text messages, whether it's one-to-one or one-to-many. But one of the newer features we've added is what we call text chat. And these are primarily used, probably our biggest segment of users in this is we work with workforce development agencies where you have case managers who are pushing out information about job opportunities to their program participants and so forth. But it also translates into other industries. It gives you that ability to have a conversation with somebody via text, whether it's answering questions. So, for example, in HR, when is open enrollment? When do I have to complete my paperwork by? In education, I want to add a class or drop a class, and often a counselor will reply to it, or I want to set up an appointment to come in and chat about it. We have retail organizations, wholesale organizations, service providers that are communicating with their customers via text chat. So again, it's not just pushing out that Old Navy discount coupon, but it's being able to allow your patrons to interact with you, ask questions, and so forth. So if you guys have a cell phone and are so inclined, I have a QR code up on the screen. Why don't you go ahead and scan it, and I'll do the same with my phone. What this does is your text messaging platform will automatically open. So I think there's a glare there, you can see it. And it'll pre-populate with a keyword. So you don't even have to type in the phone number anymore. We make it that easy. So it should say demo chatty. And if you go ahead and press that send button, you should get back a notice or a text. And if anybody wants to type in the chat message, what they received back, I'll give a gold star to the first person who replies. Otherwise, if you're not following along, I'll just go ahead and read it. It says, we're here to assist. Reply to the message if you have any questions. Simple, basic. What I can then do, and I'm going to jump into the back end of our platform. Whoops. And looks like I have some questions that have come in. So all our clients have their own logins to their own accounts and so forth. This happens to be a demo account, and I am under the section of text messaging and conversation. But I can see here I have all these questions that have come in. What I can do is set up notifications if I'm not here at my desk. First off, we could set up so you get notified on your desktop if a new message has come in. If I'm not sitting at my desk, maybe I'm out in the venue that I'm at, or I'm out in the field or something like that, I can also get notifications on my phone instantly. So I see here now I have a few messages that have come in. So let's just take a look at what they look like. I got a question here from Dave, and he asks, how was the meeting? Dave is our CEO, so I have to laugh at that. I can simply reply to him and he'll get this message. It's going great. Hit send, and now he's received that message. Here's just a couple of sample ones that I threw in here before. Questions that you might get asked. When do open enrollments need to be submitted? Where is the bathroom located? I want to discuss my thesis. Can I come in to discuss? And so forth. I got a couple of others here. Let's see what we have. Whoops, looks like that's not, here we go. What are your zoo hours this weekend? We want to plan ahead for our kids. So I can simply type back, we are open from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. daily. Now, I think that whoever typed in that message receive that message and can go ahead and reply back to that. They should have received that. Yep. See, so somebody wrote, "Great, thank you." And I could say, "It was my pleasure to help." Everything is saved, logged, archived, or it's saved and logged here. If this starts to get full, you can always archive them, you can sort them and save them. You know, we live in a world where we want to make sure we have transparency in our communications. So it's great for compliance issues to see the actual text messages, the replies, and so forth. Lots of different use cases, like I said, across various different venues. I mentioned earlier that you could also push out text messages. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to send out a quick message to everybody. And I'm going to send and schedule a text message. And I'm just going to say, I really appreciated everyone's participation. Oops, I'm the worst typist. Today's webinar. We will email the recording to you tomorrow. And I'm going to simply choose my list. I've called this the Patty's webinar. And I have the opportunity to schedule this in advance to go out on a specific date and time, or I can simply send it on the fly. So for this example, I'm just going to send it on the fly and hit send now. And hopefully you've all received those questions. So looks like I have a questions here. Can multiple staff members respond to a text message at the same time? Yeah, and you could have multiple people with their own multiple lists of employees, or their group of students that they work with. Or you could have, you know, if it's a venue like a museum, a zoo, an aquarium, you can have dedicated people based upon their working hours, either manning this or having the messages sent to them so they can push out replies, again, in a timely manner. Let's see, what else do I have here? Can someone text us first, or do we always have to start the conversation somehow? Yeah, so if you have a list of folks that have opted in to receive text messaging from you, you can go ahead and push out messaging to them. Otherwise, they would have to opt in either by scanning the QR code or texting in a keyword to a phone number. Oh, a lot of good questions today. Can we automate or use templates for frequently asked questions? Absolutely. We have templates available that you can pre-program examples or answers to. If you notice here, we also have an integration with ChatGPT to give you ideas on how to craft messages based upon a specific subset. Like it depends if they're looking for information about something in a park and so forth. So we have developed certain features that does make the process simpler. And finally, let's see. Can I respond from my phone, or do I need to be on my computer logged in? Okay, so yeah, so like I said, you would get notifications. You could set up notifications on your actual cell phone. So when you get messages in, it will show up right on your cell phone. It would look very similar. Let's see if I can do this here. It would look very similar to this. It would just be formatted, whoops, on a smaller device. So it would show your just like this. And then when you tap on it, you would be able to see the message and reply just like you would, like you're doing from the dashboard. So let me jump back to this and see if you folks have any questions. If so, feel free to put them in the chat. Like I said, I have Megan here. She's happy to help. Have you seen organizations use text conversations as part of live exhibits or scavenger hunt style experience? Oh, Mike, I love it. I love it. Yeah, it's great for instantaneous things. So if it's a live exhibit or a scavenger hunt, you can push out or, hey, this is where this is starting now. Or if they've opted in for I'll give you an example, like an animal feeding at a zoo, they can get a message or and be notified when that's going on. But definitely different ways to incorporate these conversations into it. Simply, even as far as if you have an artist there that's presenting or giving a talk or something, people can text in and ask questions that are fed to the speaker. So again, lots of different ways to use it. And again, as a follow-up, do you even see this type of conversational platform evolving into something closer to a digital facilitator or a guide rather than a messaging tool? Yeah, I mean, and Mike, you know a little bit about us. There's always that possibility where you scan a QR code, then you're directed to something. So either wayfinding or kind of like a guide, directing people through your space. Yeah, absolutely. Any other questions today? Great. Well, if you'd like to learn a little bit more, like I said, this was just a very high-level overview introducing this type of service to you folks. If you're interested in learning more, please feel free to reach out. I'll be happy to schedule a customized demo for you, and get in the back end and show you how the ins and outs work, share more examples and so forth based upon your specific situation. And as Megan had mentioned in the webinar chat, we have recorded this and we will be sending it out to you folks tomorrow. Once again, I just want to thank everybody for joining us today, and I hope you have a great one. Thanks.